being there. They say PTSD, IED. They know what they're supposed to be saying, but they don't understand the meaning of what they're saying.
How long have you been stealing from me?
They can't until they experience it themselves.
Whoa, that was intense, folks.
Yeah.
You just saw a scene from Battle Scars, and we've got the director, Danny Buday, and one of the actresses from that movie, Heather McComb. Thank you, darling, for joining us today.
Thank you for having us. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yes, we gotta take a seat. You know what to do. 1, 2, 3.
Wow!
I love your one. I was like, ha!
Oh, I didn't see that.
Oh, you missed it?
Yes, I missed it.
It's gonna become a meme.
Okay. Is it a meme or a meme? I don't even know what it's about.
Oh, it's probably a meme. I'm past the
I say meme too, but
I
because I'm Latina, so.
prefer meme too.
Meme?
Me
Thank
too.
you,
We're on
thank
the
you
same
guys
page.
for having my back. I knew I loved you guys.
You're so sweet. Are you gonna start crying?
It's the eyelashes. It's the eyelashes.
So much.
I think I've seen parts of this movie. I'm actually friends with one of the producers, Lane Carlson. I think this movie is very important because it deals with something that a lot of people take their eye off of and kind of don't pay attention to, and that's what the veterans are dealing with when they come back from war. So tell us a little bit about the movie and what goes on in the film.
Sure, yeah. The movie's about a lead character played by Zane Holtz, who plays a soldier coming back from Afghanistan, suffering from post-traumatic stress, and he's trying to figure out how to acclimate and kind of figure out life back once he gets home.
That's awesome. And who do you play?
I play Michelle, who is a cocktail waitress in the movie, and she kind of crosses paths with Luke, who is played by Zane Holtz, and we kind of wind up going on a very unexpected journey together.
Now, the actor, Zane, right? He's playing a character that comes back from, is it Iraq or Afghanistan?
From Afghanistan.
From Afghanistan, and he comes back with battle scars. Correct. Now, that's really the crux of the film because there's, maybe you wouldn't call it a twist, but there's kind of a reveal in this movie that we don't want to give too much away, but it's not your typical war movie.
Right, it's definitely a unique story, so I definitely suggest checking it out. Zane Holtz plays a guy who's suffering from an IED blast and a very unique injury that some of these soldiers have unfortunately been incurring in Afghanistan. So.
And it starts to kind of reveal itself, not just in the physical sense, which at some point you see, but in the psychological sense, right?
Correct, yeah. And it's not only what he's dealing with, but also what his family members are dealing with, trying to acclimate coming home, too. Because we wanted to also focus on how does it affect the other relatives in the home life, the wife, the kids, the relatives, the brothers, the fathers. All
Love
the family.
interests?
Yeah, there is a lot of We'll find
I
out.
also see like a lot, and there's a lot of violence obviously going on. Was there something that was a little scary for you as an actress, like as a woman actress, to be receiving these kind of violent moves from him?
And I say this with the utmost respect. Firuza Balk is probably, she is such an amazing actress, and she terrified me, which she was supposed to. Her character Rivka is supposed to have that effect on me. And so yes, anytime I was in her presence, I knew she was going to be in it. But as an actress, for me personally, that it feeds me. It's like, give it to me. And Danny, God bless his heart, he pressed me and pushed me to my limits. He's such an amazing director, and he really, I think, pushed all of us. And you cannot, as an actor, ask for a bigger dream. You really can't, because that's what it's about. It's like, well, kind of play it safe if you can, but if you're pushed and you're really pushed, and we all were, so I think everybody was bringing their A game. So yeah, but her character really scared me.
How do you push them? Because
sure,
I see you, and you look so sweet and quiet, and she's like, he pushed us, and I'm like, I can't imagine this guy being mean on set.
Look,
Not me. There's a big difference.
No, but when you're on set, you know, you're dealing with, okay, there's been twice the amputee ratio with these soldiers since in Afghanistan than it was in both Vietnam and World War II. So when you're dealing with these kind of facts and these kind of things with these actors, you're kind of, you want to be really sensitive to the material and really sensitive to doing right by the veterans, doing right by the story. And so by pushing them, I really wanted them to dive into this and not treat it like just, you know, you're showing up for these 5 weeks, you're showing up here, and I really need you to get into these characters.
Did you have any interaction with real veterans and talk to them about whatever experiences they went through in order to be able to not only direct the cast, but the cast also to be able to get into character?
Yeah, we did, but I didn't want to make it about a specific person, but we definitely interviewed a lot of people. We wanted to talk with them about how they really adjusted when they first got back, and it's not just about the physical wounds, like kind of how you mentioned. It actually is also about, you know, you get into you go into a Walmart parking lot, and people start getting crazy with their cars, and all of a sudden you're flashbacked and you're there again. You know, and now your wife is in the car, and now you guys are just trying to go on a shopping spree, and this turns into this kind of a thing. You know, so they definitely have issues where just going shopping, you know, becomes an issue with them.
Everything becomes an issue.
How did this project, like, why take on such a dark subject matter? Because I believe your last film had to do with astrology?
Yeah.
He looks like an astrologer.
I was miscast. I'm supposed to be in the other one.
For that.
It's a long story, but
Yeah, so for Ther Day, which is exactly right about astrology, I started, when I was on the film festival circuit, I watched a couple of these documentaries that were also on the festival circuit. There's one called Restrepo, another one about the war in Afghanistan. And I thought it was so interesting in these documentaries once the soldiers came back. And that's really what they weren't focusing on, but I was drawn to that element of the storylines. And then I read a Huffington Post article that basically was talking about these specific IED blasts that were going on and how Obama had just sent 30,000 of these kind of protective gears for this specific IED type injury over to Afghanistan. I said, well, hold on a second, 30,000 of these, that's a lot of...
Now, I hate spoilers, and I want to toe the line on spoiling. How far can we go on explaining what this battle scar is in this interview? I don't want to give too much away, but if you can kind of give a hint. I mean, have you guys seen the trailer?
I've seen the trailer.
Did you see any visible
I mean,
scars
I think I
on the
saw
man?
something on a chest, maybe.
Okay.
No, and I saw like a lot of bruises on the eyes, black eyes.
Well, how far can you go in giving them a hint on what's...
I'll say this.
Oh no, oh no, oh no.
I'll say that people are certainly concerned about losing a main limb.
Right.
You know, people are concerned about losing an arm or losing a leg. Yeah. But what happens if something happens to you where from the physical outside, you maybe don't know what's wrong with me?
You lose
Is
your
it
heart.
Is it a Lorena Bobbitt type of thing?
No, I mean, I'm not gonna spoil that element of it, but I will say this, it's not just losing like a part of your leg, for example.
Okay.
It's maybe losing a big part of your life.
Okay. Maybe losing who you are, maybe, you know, in a big sense.
Gosh, you really got us intrigued.
Particularly,
We really got to watch this film.
Well, particularly
particularly as a man. That's the way that this movie's shot. I got to give you a lot of credit. I mean, I love the movement of the camera. I love the focus. I love, you know, especially in the performances as well. Was this one of these shoots as an actress that get a little gritty? And this is the last question. Was it hard to perform in this
I'll tell you honestly what my hardest task was in this particular picture was that I was also a producer on it. So for me, it was very hard because I would show up on set and I really wanted to be into my character, which thank God I was able to most of the time. But then sometimes I would my phone would start blowing up and, you know, I would be having, an actor wasn't happy because of it was the wrong trailer that day or, you know, something like that. And I'm like, I'm just trying to focus on doing my work. So I think the biggest challenge for me was doing both hats. But it was really the greatest gift that I ever gave myself because I've been acting since I was a kid, and this was really the first time that I helped develop a project from the ground up, and it was the best thing I ever did.
Thank you guys so much. The movie comes out July 14th. Check it out, Battle Scars, July 14th.